A big family in the south of the Yangtze River, obviously rich, hide all his money and pretends to be poor every day. Don't laugh at him for being stupid. Maybe your family is a multimillionaire, too. It's just that your parents didn't tell you about the money because they were afraid that you had learned to indulge in debauchery. Hurry back and ask. If there is, you should remember that you can live long only if you have money and don't show it off. You are the only son of the Li family. Li Jiazu was a big family, the last 3 generations, and the fertile land was paved with hundreds of hectares. But in your father's generation, somehow, the silver was like a leak, and there was no shadow little. The old houses are in disrepair, and the pavements are given to outsiders, and all the land is pointed out. Those who used to be diligent in moving around have long since disappeared when they saw your family's decline. On holidays, your door is so cold that you don't even bark at the dog. Although the life is poor, but fortunately, I don't worry about food and clothing. But I hate the family business, laid by your ancestors in my heart, and let my father worship it. What is the promise? But what you didn't expect was that at the age of 15, an autumn rain hit you, and you went to find dry wood in the middle of the night, but you trampled on the floor in the backyard and fell into a cold mouth. When father heard the noise, he pulled you up with a light. When the fire flashed, I saw that the silver in the cellar was piled like a wall. You stay in the wind, but your father scolds you in a low voice. Remember, you haven't lost your home, just hid it. When the silver is exposed, the white life is gone. After you know the foundation of your family, the tone in your heart is even more unbearable. There is money at home, but the door is still mottled with tiles, wearing shabby robes all day, and following him to the city to sell his own miscellaneous grains. You see, the servants hired by those big families, in the city standing in a row with officials nodding behind them, and wives in groups, living a glamorous life. The most irritating thing is that those big families don't have as much money as your family, and your father, carrying food, bowed his head when he met people who didn't say a word about the decline of the Li family. It's a pity that you can only pretend to be a small family with him when you know there is money buried in the backyard. Walking all the way, I kept my anger in my heart, and almost choked to death, and the gas in my heart slowly filled up. One day, lots of money will be spent on the whole town. Look carefully at your father saying that Tibetan women saved their lives. You don't believe this either. Your ancestors are richer than 3 generations. Why do you have to pretend to be poor and make people laugh when you get it? So, you went to the town behind your father's back, and spent $320 yuan neatly to actually bought a small house in Zanku, and found someone to repair the get house and turn over the blue tiles. In less than a month, a new house sprang up. You sit at the door with a big ebony chair, and you look like a nouveau riche. On the day your father saw his new house, his hand shook with anger on the spot, and he almost never breathed. Son of a bitch, let's see how you end up. But no one can hear that. Everyone in the town is boasting that the Li family has turned over, and there is even a gold hill buried in the backyard. Word travels fast, and relatives run faster. My uncle and aunt are carrying a basket of eggs, and my cousin is holding shuyan, one bite at a time. We are a family, and opening our mouths means climbing relationships and borrowing money. Father couldn't save face, so he borrowed it once, but when he came once, no one took a reason to ask for it. Instead, he was abused in the street. The Li family couldn't finish digging for more money, and he had to ask for this stinking money, or he was a relative. It was really heartless. Your father knew that he was so angry that he could stop coughing and blood, and he said dismissively, if you don't pay it back, you won't pay it back, and there is not much money. But you don't know, this world is more than just a relative thinking about your little money. One night in the 12th lunar month, you were lying on the carved bed, hugging the newly bought Shiodan in your arms. Suddenly, there was a muffled sound, like a muffled thunder exploding outside the door. Before Ding Ding could call for a thief, he was knocked over by a knife, and blood mixed with blood spilled all over the floor. Then, the gate slammed down and several masked gangsters stepped on the blood print, and broke into the main room. You got up in shock, but someone kicked you to the ground, knocked the knife on the back of your neck, and almost knocked you unconscious. The cold blade was across your neck. The fat boss sneered. I heard that there is a golden hill buried in the backyard. Give me the key. You are trembling with fear, but you still want to say no. There is really no money. The fat boss had a layer of skin on your neck with a horizontal knife tip, and blood ran down your neck. You immediately knelt on the ground and cried your throat out. Don't kill me, Silver. You give you the key. Soon the cellar in the backyard was open, and a dozen sacks were dragged out. The glistening silver shone under the torch, Huang Yan. In the end, the bandit didn't kill you, but took your silver and Xiao. Your dad was so angry that his lips trembled, trembling and pointing at you, to scold you, as a whole, telling you to keep a low profile, but you didn't listen. Look, you almost lost your life. It serves you right to watch the sack being torn away, and your heart is full of blood. Dad, I can't bear this tone. You report it to the official tomorrow. Father raised his hand to slap you, lifted it to the middle and put it down again, mumbling, reporting to the official. Our family has no backer, so much money means forbearance, as long as it is still there. But where can you listen? There is only one sentence left in my heart, and I have to get it back from the King Lot Su. The next morning, you went to the county government. The magistrate, with tea in his hand, listened to your crying slowly, and then calmed down. Li Gongzi can rest assured that this official will get justice for you. But you didn't know that he didn't intend to investigate this case at all. He asked his confidants to check the details of your family with his front foot and his back foot. Only then did you know that your family was fat and didn't have half a backstage customer. More coincidentally, the county treasurer was recently moved by the magistrate of a county, and there was a hole in the account. This fat sheep came just in time, and it was posted at the county gate after 3 days. When the Li family evaded taxes, Fan Sen went to Taiwan to give instructions to seal up the family property, and Pinku Silver Chief broke in with chains. The cellar was stuck upside down. Silver ingots were packed in bags after bags. The account books of the bank were turned clean, and the weather changed. Guanling's father looked at the treasure house in the hall. As soon as his eyes closed, he choked to death with a mouthful of blood. And you collapsed outside the hall door. Only then do you understand that not revealing the truth is not a dead rule, but a life saver.